What's up, fellas? Welcome to the Steel Mindset. My name is Joe Steele. Really happy to be bringing you another Tops knife. This Tops knife is called the Lilith. It was produced by Tops Knives, but it was designed from a pro knife thrower called, his name is Jason Johnson. Yes, that's his name, Jason Johnson, pro knife thrower. He started getting into designing knives, and he approached Tops with a patent, as far as them fulfilling the patent on his knife, and they were like, shit, yeah. And there is born the Lilith. It's a lot of different things. It's definitely made from a knife thrower, because you notice the distal taper here, the design of the distal taper right here that looks like a throwing knife. You have the kind of like a pistol grip type of thing with the guard here covering up your fingers, which is mad cool. I'll get you all the measurements. I did all pro measurements on it. I'll voice over all that stuff. But just to give you a reaction to this, listen, this is a review, if you want to call it that, but it just is more or less my experience of just having the knife in hand, cutting with it, working with it, carrying it around, how it feels in the swing, if there's any hot spots or anything like that. And then at the end of the video, you guys decide how you want to review the knife, if the knife is for you or whatever the case is. You know, right off the bat, guys, this is a fun knife. This is just made to be a fun knife. Big knives are normally just really fun knives. Do they have their purpose? Absolutely. I mean, this thing is an amazing chopper. I mean, if you want to take, first of all, self-defense wise, I mean, you know, it's kind of common sense, basically, that you can defend your life from a raging, you know, wild animal, human or beast, you know, coming after you. I mean, this is sharp out of the box. Tops gives you some sharp edges. This was actually used. This particular knife was used before it came to me. It was on like a television survival show. I'll put it on the screen. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but this came used, and Craig had offered to send me one and Scab, and I've been interested about the Lilith for a very long time. Ever since we had him and Leo on Blade Talk when they first introduced it, the prototype, before sale. I was like, wow, I have to get my hands on this thing. So thankfully, Craig, and thanks to Tops for getting these over to us so we can show them to you. Now, the Lilith is kind of it's a great name. The name comes from a mythical creature called Lilith, who was depicted as a seductress, heroine, and an embodiment of female wiles and secrets. Pretty damn amazing. I did a short about this, and I said that this thing will seduce you and conquer you. It's definitely a beautiful looking knife. I love the design. It's definitely something different than you've seen on other knives. But if I had to kind of describe where this is coming from, it does remind me sort of a kukri style blade. Obviously, it's not exactly like a kukri, but it reminds me of a kukri style blade mixed with like kind of like a throwing knife with this little guard over here, like a pistol grip type of guard, which really aids in basically keeping your hand in place while you're really going to town and chopping with it, which you'll see. And the fit and finish is great. I mean, if you notice the spine, you'll see it on the B-roll there. The spine is refined. It looks like the spine a mune of a katana. It's got like a rounded, like comes to a soft point and rounds up. It's just, they did a really nice job kind of putting this thing together. It's a very pretty looking knife, great fit and finish. I love the look of the fuller here in the middle, and just the all around curves, the handle. It's really nice. I mean, the thickness of the spine, nice full tang, very powerful knife. It's a tough knife, guys. Tops make some tough knives. When I was kind of getting used to this thing, it did come out of my hands, and it hit itself, you know, on cement, on the pommel. You see some scratches on it, but that's about it. And then it slammed down on the blade. Really no damage, no loosening on the handle and stuff. It's definitely a tough knife. Tops Knives make some great variety of knives. You can either love them or hate them. I don't know how you can hate them. I think Tops does some great stuff. Maybe they don't make everybody happy all the time, but hey, that's the knife industry. That's what it is. You're not going to make everybody happy all the time, but you can't argue with the amount of variety of knives that they have. This is not only their big knife. They have the classic Alchete, which I did a review on, which was excellent. I still have it sharpened, that thing. That thing is excellent on 1095. Also 1095 here. Then you have the Storm Vector, which is another monster knife. Then you have the A Club, which is also a beast. And then you have the Yakare 10.0. There's so many big knives that they sell. This is not a one and done. They make some really great big knives. They're fun to use. They're built well, they're solid. They have a nice bevel to it. I think they use more to like 20 to 25. They're not crazy slicing knives, but they give it a robust edge because they know that you want to basically use this thing to chop and to baton and to do all the crazy stuff you want to do with these big knives. And they make you prepared for it by giving you that extra wide bevel. You know, the finger ring is definitely a nice addition. It's chamfered to aid in retention. It's got the lanyard hole if you really want to set yourself back and tie it up so you really could get some momentum, okay, in the swing. But I found that basically using the ring, I was able to really use all my might to really get into the chop and know that I'm secure, that my hand wasn't going to slide into the blade or out of my hand or anything like that. And until I got used to it, that's, you know, it takes some getting used to it. Now, I'm wearing gloves right now, but understand though, there can be some hot spots if you're going to be chopping with this thing here and there. It's skin on metal, so obviously there's going to be some hot spots. If you want to just put a pair of gloves, you'll be fine. If not, if you hold the handle, the G10, you're not going to find any hot spots. It'll be fine. Use a lanyard hold. So there's a lot of different ways to hold this thing. So this thing, how it's all set back and you have such a lot of purchase on the handle, you can do so many different things in terms of holding it. I would say it's a very comfortable knife and very versatile to hold it in many different ways. And you need it because it is a really nice monster looking blade. It's a long blade, a lot of beef to it, and just a lot of force in the hit. All right, guys, so this blade comes in at around $425 on Topps website, but you can definitely get it cheaper if you shop around a little bit. I found it for around $309 at Blade HQ. Big difference on the price there, so definitely shop around with it. The overall, and I did my own measurements on this knife, guys, the overall length of the knife is about 13 5/8 inches. The width of the knife at its widest point is at around 2.2 inches on the blade. Cutting edge comes in at around 13 inches. The inner ring circumference comes in at around 28 millimeters. Now, the blade itself is a great tried and true 1095 high carbon steel with a oxidized gray blade finish, maybe a powder or an oxide coating, I'm not sure. It's got an HRC of around 56 to 58. It's got a black top load release Kydex dangler, which is cool, which is pretty much native on a lot of their big knives, especially the Alchete that I have. Getting back to the spine thickness is around 6.3 millimeters on the spine. The handle, okay, it's a tan canvas micarta handle, 6.6 inches, a lot of purchase there for extra large 3XL hands. Inner grip, which is the most important part, is around 5.1 inches. Definitely a lot of room there to get any hand comfortably in many different positions. Before the ring, the thickness or the girth of the handle is around 20 millimeters. It definitely fills in your hand really well. The overall size of the knife is around 20.5 inches, a very healthy, beastly type of knife at 20.5 inches. The weight is a very manageable 1 pound, 14.5 ounces. So it's not a very heavy knife, but enough that you could have it in your hand and you don't have to stress basically by using it. It's not that heavy. And it's got a great POB, great point of balance at around 3 inches from where the G10 starts, so the point of balance is excellent. Again, the designer, which he did a great job, pro knife thrower, his designer is Jason Johnson, and produced from Topps Knives, made, as always, entirely in the US of A. All right, so guys, listen, I knew right off the bat, as soon as I did a short on this and I started cutting with it, it was actually some snow falling when I did a short and I started cutting with this thing. This thing is a hard hitter. This thing is a log splitter. It's a batoner and a log splitter. It's a hard hitter. This is not a finesse type of knife. But you notice that basically before I even show you the hard hits, this section of the blade here, which is like a kukri, can aid, okay, in doing some nice wood slicing. So you can use this section of the blade, which really the sharp edge comes all the way up to the ring almost, and you can get a pretty good grip by using this portion of the blade to really get some fine wood kindling or just, you know, process some wood for a fire before you really go to town and start chopping up. This is probably one of the best log splitters I've seen, as you can see in the video. This thing is a lot of fun to kind of swing. And the fact that you have such great purchase and some great handles, you know that you can really set yourself back and really get a nice swing, okay, to make it a great splitter of wood. thing is an absolute freaking beast. In terms of batoning, no problem batoning with this thing. I just didn't have a good baton stick, but this thing with a good baton stick in the right situation, this thing is a great batoner. You don't have to worry about the steel. You don't have to worry about the heat temper. Tops, I believe, okay, from what I've seen, from what I had my hands on and what I've seen other people do, for the most part, Tops does a great job as an American knife maker to give you a very good quality knife, American warranty, and their edge retention is spot freaking on. And I love the fact that they make the knives to be used and to be used hard. So don't mistake this thing as a finesse knife. It can do some finessing wood and cutting some rope and use it in the campsite, but it is a fun knife. It's a knife that you're gonna go out and have fun with and start splitting logs with and stuff like that. You don't wanna take your axe with you and you wanna have one knife with you and you wanna process wood. You can definitely split up wood with this, chop things up. As you can see, it is just one of those really hard hitters that's a lot of fun to use. That's the best way that I can describe this knife, is the fact that it is just that type of knife that you're going to use to just process hard pieces of wood and get yourself ready for camping or an outdoor type of thing, or just have fun taking with you. It's a great impressive type of knife, and it's a great thing to show off. I really like this. It's definitely something you should add to your collection if you like big knives. I like the design of this, and it's very unique. And the only thing I haven't done with this thing yet is to throw it. Now, I'm not a knife thrower, so I can't tell you I'm gonna do what Jason Johnson conceived with this knife, but I am gonna throw this thing. I did throw it a little bit from practice throws, not to make myself look like such a fool, but let's throw this knife. It is a big knife to throw, so I don't know how it's gonna land, but let's see how this kind of handles itself as a throwing knife type of design. Because that's actually what they did on the television show. I think they did throw this knife in the competition, which was cool. All right, so let's see if we can get this thing into that dead log there. Strike one. There we go. Wish I had actually a better target for you, but this is the best I have right now. This is also a testament to see basically how tough the knife is, and you know, with when you miss, and I am missing, if it's if the handle or anything is going to get loose on it. There we go. Nice reinforced tip, good point on this thing. A lot of fun. Ooh, I thought it was going to land back onto the log again and stick. That would have been mad cool. Like I said, guys, this is just a lot of fun to kind of play with this thing. Ooh, where'd it go? Lost it in the brush. There we go. It's definitely a fun knife to use, fun knife to play with. It's I did a lot of, I purposely missed, I purposely missed. I missed a couple of times. It looks like the handle's still good. The point is still in great shape. It's got a nice reinforced tip, which is great for a knife thrower. I'll definitely do some more videos. When I have a good knife target, I'm actually gonna, throw this a little bit better, add an actual target to see how this thing sticks. But this definitely sticks, digs right in. It definitely has the heart of being a throwing knife, okay, in the design from Jason Johnson. I really like this thing. It's definitely a great looking knife. It's a lot of fun to play with, a lot of fun to cut. It is a hard hitter, a beast of a knife, very comfortable handle. I love the overall design of this thing. It's definitely different. It's not your typical type of design, especially adding the key ring here. It's damn cool. I mean, it's definitely a cool knife to own with a very cool name, Lilith, okay, in terms of where it came from in terms of mythology. So yeah, this is the Tops Lilith, guys. Great knife. My experience, A1. Would I carry this around? Would I take this camping with me? Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay, I'll carry this in my side or in my bag. There's definitely going to be a lot of use of this thing if you want to have a good hard hitter and don't want to carry an axe around. This is definitely a knife you want. Lilith, there you go, guys. Another great knife. from Tops.